Spooky season, everybody!
Hell yes! That means we got the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Part 1, we have a lot coming.
There's some other stuff coming, don't you worry.
All right, so we're talking only about spooky stuff. You know, the horror aesthetic. All right,
Yeah.
we're co-opting the horror aesthetic. It's ours now. We actually own it.
Yeah. This is a little thing we like to call cultural appropriation.
Exactly. I don't know what culture. I think it's nerd culture, but we're appropriating it anyway.
Yeah.
So, big news, Dave.
Oh boy, Howard, lay it on me.
Oh boy, you know that developer Konami, who hasn't made a single AAA release since Metal Gear Solid 5.
But what about Metal Gear Survive?
Stop talking. They're back making games, and they decided to take the shovel of all their IPs and go to one grave that they killed themselves, Silent Hill. They had a huge thing for Silent Hill, and we're going to go over all the Silent Hill announcements.
Yay!
Because they have no other game franchises, apparently. So to start it off, there's Silent Hill F, which is obviously a code name.
Yeah, like, I personally, if you were to ask me, I would not go into a video gaming store such as GameStop, look at a game called Silent Hill F and say, that seems like a game I want to play. No, that's a stupid title.
Stupid title.
So yeah, it's probably a code name.
So it's a mainline game that takes place in the Showa, Japan, like back in time, and written by a well-known Japanese horror author, and it's technically a mainline game, so that would make it Silent Hill, I want to say 7? Pretty sure?
Sure.
Pretty sure? Homecoming was 5, Downpour was 6. So this would be technically 7.
Okay.
In the main line.
All right.
Which is nice. They're continuing main line. My one concern, teeny tiny concern, the whole point of Silent Hill was to mix Western and Japanese horror so that it was palatable to American audiences. And if you set it in feudal Japan, I'm kind of scared it's just going to be like Fatal Frame.
Okay, hold on. You said two different things. Is it feudal Japan or Showa era Japan?
I'm sorry, Showa era Japan.
That's like the 60s.
Okay. Showa Japan, my bad.
Okay.
All right, I messed it up. All right. Yeah, Showa Japan. But like still, point still stands. It's like most, like, okay. Like, is it gonna just be like Fatal Frame?
I don't know.
Like, we don't know much, but if it's just Fatal Frame, because Fatal Frame's very heavily Japanese folklore horror, and the whole point of Silent Hill was to mix American and Japanese. You know, like they took Jacob's Ladder in Twin Peaks and put Japanese horror into it. Feels really weird that the base already is Japanese horror.
So as you can see, already we're off to a great start.
Great start.
In understanding what makes Silent Hill as a franchise tick.
Yeah, especially since there was barely even a trailer for this one.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I didn't watch any of these trailers. I didn't watch any of them. I kind of forgot about it. The intern's gonna test. I just looked at the trailer and I just went, "Oh no!" the whole time. This is a doomer segment, by the way. This is now officially a bullying segment on specifically Konami. Yep.
The next one.
We've had it coming for too long.
Was Silent Hill Townfall, which I have a little hope in this one.
Okay.
A little hope.
All right.
Because it is not made technically by Konami or any of their studios. It is mid by a studio called No Code. They made Observation, which is like a sci-fi thriller psychological horror game.
All right.
Where you're it's a space station hovering over a weird planet, and like the vortex do some weird psychological stuff, and you're like floating in the station. It wasn't that bad. Like, it just gave me nausea. Yeah. And it's published by Annapurna Interactive.
Okay.
Very good studio. They did Outer Wilds, which is a very scary horror game.
Yeah, they did that. They did Stray.
What Remains of Edith Finch and Donut Country. Those are like the 4 that I saw that immediately I was like, I know those games.
Okay.
They're all bops.
That's a good, that bodes well.
So that one might be in safe hands. Again, we don't know anything because it's just one of those things where they show us a random thing about the game, maybe question mark, and then a logo, so we don't know much. The next thing There's a new Silent Hill movie in the works. Silent Hill 3.
I think Return to Silent Hill it's called.
Something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's being directed by the same guy who did the first Silent Hill film. I don't remember what his name is, but that's who's directing this film. So I assume it will actually be a sequel, not a reboot.
Yeah, but now I have the eternal question. What game are they going to cover? Because if Silent Hill 1 was a very bad interpretation of Silent Hill 1, vaguely, very vague, and Silent Hill Revelations was covering 3, what are they doing? Are they covering the room?
Here's my galaxy brain take. We get Guillermo del Toro. Make Silent Hills as a movie.
Okay, hold on. That's a very good idea. If you get Junji Ito back and Norman Reedus back, and you know what? Who cares? Get Hideo Kojima back for the writing process. I'm okay with making Silent Hills into a movie.
Make it as a movie.
But no. Oh no. If they don't adapt Silent Hill 2, that means they're adapting Silent Hill Homecoming. Because 4, you don't go to Silent Hill.
Oh.
Silent Hill went to the guy's house.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, Homecoming was horrendous.
Oh no. Unless they're not adapting anything, and it's entirely its own thing.
No! That's even worse. Ah, my God. There's no good news. No good news. All right. Set up for the movie.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie, so I don't know. I can't speak to anything.
Now the big one.
The big one everyone was sort of excited for.
They're remaking Silent Hill 2 based on the success of Resident Evil Remakes 2, 3, and soon to be 4. Made by Blooper Team. I'm not happy.
It's like that just like it's like a graph where like you're at the very, very top. You're going up. Silent Hill 2 remake based on the success of Resident Evil 2, Blooper Team.
Okay, I guess for context, we don't like Blooper Team games.
Yeah, so I've only played one Blooper Team game, and that was Layers of Fear, and I think I played through the DLC. I don't remember. Did we play through the DLC? Where you play as the daughter?
Yes, I think we did do that.
Yeah. Howard here has played through every Blooper Team game.
Except the medium.
Except the medium.
I have played through all of them.
So he is a little more well-versed in their repertoire and resume, as it were. So he's kind of our Bloober Team, our resident Bloober Team expert. Connoisseur, if you will.
Yeah.
So, Howard, tell us your thoughts.
Dude, they suck. I like everything. Like, Layers of Fear was mid.
Yeah. It visually looked cool, but that was about all it had going for it.
That was about it. It wasn't scary. I think it was like a Germa clip or whatever.
When he goes back and forth.
With the baby.
Yeah!
Which is supposed to be...
That is the first thing with Layers of Fear that I ever experienced. I didn't know who the hell Germa was. I didn't know what Layers of Fear was. I just saw that clip out of context and was dying laughing.
Okay, so for context, this is like at the near the climax of the game, and it's like, you know, it's going through all the, I guess all the people that the painter's lives ruined, and it was supposed to represent the ruined childhood. And there's just a scene where you're walking through a closet, and a baby just goes, ah, and then bonks his head on a wall, and then just kind of dies and disappears.
So what happens in the clip is that Germa finds the like trigger point for that cutscene to happen. So he's just walking forward to get it back, make it trigger, then back and forward and back and back and that back and forth, just to have that trigger multiple times over the course of like, he went on for like 2 minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes doing this.
He got it to trigger like 6 times to the point where he got it to do it twice at the same time. Yeah, that was bad. Observer was good basically because of the plot and the...
See, I've never even...
and the actor they got, I forget. Rutger
Hauer.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer.
He is a good actor.
He was the main character
Rest
of
in peace.
Observer, and actually it was kind of cool because it was like a semi-open world. Oh. And then at the 3/4 point, they take you out of the semi-open world because it's like an apartment complex, and then it becomes boring.
Cool.
So that's like the best one. Layers of Fear 2 was dumb. That one was just dumb. Check out the mini review on our channel because I'm pretty sure I did do a mini review of that. And what was the last one?
Blair Witch.
Yeah, that one's bad. That one's really bad. I platinumed that. It was bad.
There's a dog in it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a dog mechanic that tell the dog to find clues for you. It only works in 2 areas of the game. The rest of it's a hallway. Those areas one of which is the tutorial. The second of which is it's so dark you can't even see the dog anymore. So Blooper Team is not good at making video games, let alone scary video games. I heard the medium has a very, I hate to use that term, problematic story. I don't want to say it out loud because not only will I not put it to justice, my friend told me this. I didn't actually play it, but I did look at the plot, and it's like a really messed up moral of the story.
That's not good.
It's not good.
That's not good.
And also the game's bad. So I didn't touch it yet. But moral of the story is they're not good. They are now remaking one of what is considered the objectively best survival horror games ever created in the history of video games.
Best.
Maybe the. Some would argue it is the best. They're remaking the sequel in the style of the remake to Resident Evil 2. So it probably won't be that bad because it just looks like they're just directly copying and pasting another game. But it's Silent Hill 2. Like, it didn't need you just needed to port it.
And give it a good port that actually works.
Yes, because, okay, let's just put, the only way right now that you, the dear viewer, can play Silent Hill 2.
Legally, mind you.
Legally, is probably through like GOG or something, maybe. Or 2, you need to buy the 360 copy of Silent Hill 2 and 3 HD collection, which is an absolute horrendous port where they lost the voice acting. So there's no good port. It also got rid of all the fog, so you can literally see everything, and you can tell that it's a PS2 game quite clearly when they get rid of the fog. Just a bunch of stuff. You can watch videos, so it's not a good port. So there's like no way. So there's like a bad port of Silent Hill 2 and 3. You can play Silent Hill Homecoming and Downpour via backwards compatibility, all of which on an Xbox. So we are already limited. There's no port of any of them. Game has not made game in 10 years. And they're just remaking the second one. It doesn't make sense to me. This is ludicrous. And it's like, we modernized the combat and you can explore the city. It's like, okay, that's fine. But why did this need to be made? It looks fine, but there's just no reason to it.
I don't know. I really, really don't know.
Like,
if anything, I would have thought remake the first game.
That game does need a remake.
Because I don't even know if did that even get ported at all? I don't think it did.
Technically, Shattered Memories for the Wii and PlayStation 2 was a remake of the first game, but it also wasn't at the same time.
So there is currently no way to play the original Silent Hill on modern day consoles.
Technically speaking, I think the one that I know for sure that you can 100% get legally is Silent Hill 4 on GOG. That is the only modern one. So I have to beg the question here. They only did Resident Evil Remake 2 because they couldn't have the source code to port Resident Evil 2. I get it.
Yeah.
They can't port it, so they remade it. Sad, but, whatever.
And we ended up with a banger of a remake.
It was a pretty good remake.
Yeah.
I think the original's still a little better in my eyes, but like a great game's still a great game nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I get it, but like we're getting 3 new Silent Hill games, and yet there's no port of Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4, The Room, Homecoming, Downpour, Shattered Memories, and Origins, all of which are mainline games you cannot play unless you get a PS2, which, if you want to go find those games, I salute you. Because they're all like $80 to $100 when I used to go find them, and that was in 2014. Lord knows how expensive they are now.
Yeah.
I only have 2 and 4. In Origins.
I'm gonna wish y'all a good luck on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna wish you a good luck, and if you want to put on the pirate eye patch and hop aboard the ship to the good old classic Pirate Bay, have fun, because it's the only way you're playing those games.
Arr.
It's like there's like, and I don't even get the thought process here. 3 games. Konami has been porting like they just ported bunch of Ninja Turtles games.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 collections of Castlevania games. They have a Contra collection. Where's the Silent Hill collection?
I don't know. I don't know.
Note how we're noting all these problems before we get to the actual game itself, mind you. We're not even at the game.
Yeah.
We're not even at the game. All right? Along with that, you're rebooting your franchise. Silent Hill 2 is the first in a rebooted franchise. We're rebooting Silent Hill. How do we do this? All right. PS5 console timed exclusive for 1 year. I'm like, what? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you're rebooting a franchise that's been dormant for 10 years, why would you put it on 1 console? Like, that makes, again, no sense. Nothing makes sense here in my head. I'm trying to put together a puzzle piece, and like one of them is like a triangle wooden brick that you get for preschoolers.
there is no standpoint from which you could see that makes any sort of financial sense to make it a timed exclusive. Because here's the thing, when did the PlayStation 5 come out? 2019?
Just about.
2019. So the game comes out next year?
Yeah.
2023, what is math? That's 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years. It's still really hard to get a PlayStation 5 if you weren't aware. So, the amount of people who actually have a PlayStation 5, and then there's people like us. Howard doesn't have a PlayStation 5. I have a PlayStation 5. Am I going to get Silent Hill 2 Remake? I don't know. Probably not. Unless it gets somehow really good reviews. Then I'll be like, maybe. But all this other stuff?
Yeah.
The fact that it's by Bloober Team? Because again, I've only played Layers of Fear. I didn't like Layers of Fear. I really didn't like Layers of Fear. I thought, again, it looked cool visually. That was it. It's basically a walking sim. I don't like walking sims.
Yeah, and for a team that makes walking sims, it's really troubling to hear Silent Hill, a game about exploring your surroundings, and one of the major things is things you can do. You can explore Silent Hill. I'm like, oh, the optional thing you can do in the game called Silent Hill.
And also the fact that they're, modernizing the combat. They've never really done a combat-heavy game before.
Yeah, okay. So for context, Silent Hills 2's combat was kind of like Condemned Criminal Origins, which Dave has played,
yes.
Where the button has a little bit of a delay, so that way you had to plan your strike, and if your strike missed or didn't kill the target, you had an option to run away from said monster. It was kind of like a fight, it was a literal fight or flight mechanic. That's what made it kind of scary and tense. It's like, well, will this hit actually hit them? Will this gun? Now, the game isn't hard. There are multiple people who are bad at games who can play it. But it's scary when I hear a game developer that doesn't do combat say we're modernizing the combat, and they didn't explain what it meant. I don't know what it means. Does that mean like
I don't know if Bloober Team knows what it means.
Does that mean James does like air combos?
They just lift like straight the combat from Resident Evil 4, roundhouse kicks and all.
If James roundhouse kicks Pyramid Head, I think I would buy the
10 out of 10. That's all I'm saying.
If there's something as stupid as like Leon parrying a chainsaw in the Resi 4 remake, I'll take everything back. But yeah, and then there's the rumor, it might have been a mistranslation, but it may be separated into 2 parts. Potentially. If that's true, why? It's a 5-hour-long game.
Hope you guys are ready to spend potentially upwards of $120 on a game from 30 years ago-ish?
2001, I think.
2001, so 20 years ago.
The game's 5 hours long. What are you splitting into 2? I don't get it. I hope that's not true. Because it's 5 hours long. It's bad enough Final Fantasy VII Remake, they're splitting that into parts.
But like, at least that's an RPG.
Yeah, at least that's like a 30 to 50 hour long game being split. This is a 5-hour-long game. You could beat this in like
an afternoon.
Yeah, in an afternoon if you were committed.
Which we're gamers. Gamers are committed. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
They will sit down and play a game in its entirety in one sitting.
I'm feeling bad vibes from this project. I don't know if you guys could tell. I'm not the biggest fan, all right? So we're going to keep an eye out. Silent Hill 2 is really bad.
Yeah. Don't get us wrong. Like, we want the game to be good.
Yes.
We want it to be good. Like, it's just, there are multiple factors at play that lead us to believe that it might not be good.
Yeah.
And we're preparing for the worst.
I'm preparing the doomer mindset, specifically in hopes I can be pleasantly surprised at this remake. Because Silent Hill 2 is a 10 out of 10. It is like in the upper echelon.
Again, considered by many to be the best horror game of all time.
And you're just casually just like, yeah, we'll just remake it. Why not? Who cares? You can't buy it anywhere.
Yeah, it's got a very high bar to reach.
Yep.
So, I guess we'll see.
Yep.